Coming up next, shocking results from a blind smell test among the original Creed Aventus 2011 batch with Dossier Perfumes Clone and Club de Nuit Intense Man, the EDT, and the EDP version. I've been testing them all, and I tell you my results coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose, and special video tonight. This is a video I've been planning on doing for a long time, and I finally got to do it. I'm so excited because the results were shocking and they're cool, and this is what's great about fragrance. Just all of this, I don't know, because we're all so passionate about it. And first off, let me say, I hope this doesn't upset anybody. This is just fun. It's a fun video. Fragrance is fun, it's a passion, it's a hobby of mine and most of you guys. So let's all take it for what it is, and hopefully no one gets too upset about the results here that of course was just on my one person, my nose. Let's get right into this. I compared 4 fragrances, starting with, of course, Creed Aventus. This is a 2011 batch, okay? So one of the generally considered the best batches out there. I compared it with 3 essentially clone fragrances. First, I have from Dossier Fragrances. This is Musky Oakmoss, and this is, I believe, $49 for 50 mLs. Some of you may have seen, I just did a review on 6 Dossier fragrances. This is a pretty new, what they call inspired house. They make fragrances inspired by classic fragrances. Then, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this video. I did Club de Nuit Intense Man. This is the EDT version, which I did a review about a month and a half ago, which generated a ton of comments and activity. And then you may have seen recently, I did Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP. I compared the two in a review that I already released, and I actually at the end recommended the EDP version because you get more for your money. You get a bigger bottle, it comes out to a better price, and I think it's better blended in an overall closer fragrance to the original Creed Aventus. So that was all, though, with all those fragrances, those other 3 essentially clones, I smelled independently from Creed Aventus. I was comparing them based on my memory of Creed Aventus. I didn't actually do a side-by-side test. And by the way, of course, there's a ton of other clones that may be considered better. You've got the Dua fragrance, you've got the Pineapple Vintage Intense. Those are all a lot more money, though. A lot more money than these 3. And the whole idea behind a clone fragrance is something that's cheap. If I'm gonna start paying $100 or more, then forget about it. I'm just gonna spend the extra money and go get the original. The idea is making this cheap and affordable for all. So that's why I stuck to these 3. So what did I do? This morning, about 8 hours ago, I sprayed all 3 fragrances on scent strips. So I had the scent strips here. I marked them all 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back. And then I smelled them. Off my initial smell, first impression, just after smelling the strips, I liked Creed Aventus the best. It seemed the best blended. It seemed the best materials. It had the strongest, just kind of more robust aroma. But very close second were the EDP and then the EDT version. They smelled very similar. Again, a little bit different. I prefer the EDP. And then in 4th place, off the initial smell, was the Dossier fragrance. Okay? That one smelled a little bit lighter, just smelled not as close. Still good, still excellent, still a worthy competitor off the initial smell, but it just wasn't quite as good, in my opinion, as the other 2, and obviously not as good as the original. Then what did I do? I left for the day. I had to go to work. I was all around. I came back. I've been gone about 8 hours. These strips have been sitting, macerating on the strip, the smells, the sprays of these 4 fragrances all day. And I was so excited. When I came home, what did I do? I got the strips. Again, the numbers are on the bottom where I wrote the numbers, so I can't see what they were. I mixed them all around on my kitchen countertop table. And then I started picking up the strips, and I literally sat there for almost 30 minutes. No lie, I wanted this to be as scientific as it could be, because this was, again, just my nose. So the results of this are my nose, but this was a blind smell test. I didn't know which numbers were which. I didn't know which fragrance was which. And what I did is I started doing and putting down from last to first what I thought was Creed Aventus and the best smelling, okay? So I started at number 4. And what came in number 4, without wasting any more time, what came in at number 4 was the Dossier fragrance. So Musky Oakmoss, at the end of the day, and this is, let me pick it up right here. This is the scent strip. It's nice. It smells probably 85% like Creed Aventus, but it's just a little bit more watery. It's a little bit lighter. Again, for the price, for 49 bucks, you're getting an excellent fragrance. It does last all day. By the way, all of the scents on these scent strips after 8 hours are still kicking strong. So just a little note there. That came in at number 4, though. All right. The tougher choice was between 3 and 2. 3 and 2 to me were very similar. Number 1 for me was a little bit separated. Number 2 and 3, as far as my guesses of what was Creed Aventus, were tougher. So ultimately, what I picked at number 3 was the EDT version of Club de Nuit Intense Man. So I was excited to see in my blind test that came behind EDP, because in my, cited test where I did not do a blind smell test, I rated the EDP version higher than the EDT version. So I was glad to see that in a blind smell test where I had no idea, I still thought the same way. It was tough though. I mean, when I'm saying splitting hairs, it was splitting hairs on the scent strip. It was tough. That's why it took me almost 30 minutes, because it was really going between these top 3. They were all really close. I mean, within it, like seriously, a razor's edge, and especially between 3 and 2. All right, I know you're getting excited like I am, right? So what came in at number 2 as far as what I thought was Creed Aventus after 8 hours in the blind smell test? Number 2 was the actual Creed Aventus. Yes. Yes. What can I say? That means number one on the blind smell test is Club de Nuit Intense Man EDP. And the bottom line is, at $50 for 120 mLs versus over $400 for Creed Aventus, it's a no-brainer. Now, having said that, they smelled, I gotta tell you, it was like, literally, like I said, splitting hairs. So similar. So similar. And I'm talking about intense smelling. This was not smelling from afar, asking someone else's opinion. This was off those scent strips, back and forth, like this. Literally like, refreshing my nose, going back, coming back, walking away, coming back. It was so close. So what's my final conclusion? If you like Creed Aventus, wear it, okay? I prefer niche fragrances. A lot of the fragrances that I buy, they're expensive. I love them. I love the story behind them. I love the house. I love it. So buy Creed Aventus. I'm not telling you not to buy Creed Aventus. Of course, it's got superior materials, natural materials. Of course, they're using higher quality stuff, okay? There's no argument there. So for those of you who are going to get angry about this, don't get angry. I'm not saying that Club de Nuit is the same quality. But when it comes to smell, bottom line is what I what I theorized before in my previous videos, and what has now come to fruition. Actually, I didn't theorize it. I didn't predict what would win over the two. I predicted what I thought was better between the Club de Nuit versions. But this was a shock. I thought Creed Aventus would win hands down. Because again, remember at the beginning, the first impression, it did stand out. The initial spray, Creed Aventus was my favorite. But after 8 hours, after letting it dry down all day, it is what it is. So my recommendation is get both bottles, or if you can't afford it, get the EDP version, not the EDT version. It will last you forever. It's 120 mLs. And guess what? And don't worry about it. No one's going to know the difference when you wear this from Creed Aventus. And if you like Creed Aventus and you don't like clones, which I get it because I don't wear clones. This is the only, these two right here. So I get it. wear what you like. Bottom line is wear what you like. If you like Creed Aventus, wear that. If you like Dossier, wear that. If you like Dua, if you like Pineapple Vintage, if you like Club de Nuit, wear what you like, guys. That's what this is about. Fragrance is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. Let's have a great time with this. But that's the results of my blind smell test, and I'm sticking with it. This is JoelTheNose. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and you can ring the bell for notifications, of course, and like the video if you found this interesting, fun, informative, or crazy. JoelTheNose. Hope you guys are doing well. Peace and love.